What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, party people? It's your boy, Coach D Brown, former big leaguer, former first round pick with the Kansas City Royals. And man, we are joined, man. One of it's good that I always bring. I mean, I bring on the guests. I always do that. You can always count on me for that. But it's always nice, man, when I bring on some familiar faces and ex teammates and guys like that, right? So quick story. I always do this. Sometimes, most of the times lately, some of the coaches I don't know. I'm meeting them just like you guys are meeting them. But my this story here, I'm in Brazelton, Georgia, in September, and I'm just randomly somebody invited me to a showcase. It's like, hey, come check it out. I just got back into the Atlanta, Georgia area myself, and I'm just kind of moseying around, and I see this tall dude with a GT hat on, and I'm looking at the face. And when you play professional baseball and you play as long as I have, you run across many guys, and I start busting my brain. I'm like, I know that face, I know that guy. I'm like, and I'm telling my boy that I'm with. I'm like, me and my personality, I gotta go run. I gotta say what's up and see what's going on. And I went over to my boy and I hollered at him, and I was like, yo. And he looked at me. We looked at each other. I said, Danny, right? And we played together. Yankees. Like, yes, D. And I was like, D. Yo, D. Yo. So he's at pitching coach at Georgia Tech now. Small world. And wait, when I would tell you Brazelton is like this big, in the middle of a barn somewhere. We were out somewhere out there, and we just ran into each other. And here it is, almost a year later, and I finally got him on my show, man. But without further ado, I got my boy Danny Borrell, Georgia Tech pitching coach, in the building, man. So, Coach Danny Borrell, man, I always have my guests, start from the beginning. I'm glad to have you on. Glad to finally, chase you down and get you on the show. But if you could tell a little bit, where you from, playing career, coaching career, to where you are right now at Georgia Tech, man.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, D. It was funny, that whole thing last year. I mean, heck, I've been here for about 2, 3 months, and I'm driving in the middle of nowhere. And it was literally a barn in the middle of nowhere. And I mean, there was actually some studs up there. Yeah, but
Really
I
fun.
was actually
Yeah.
looking at a couple of those pictures, and a couple of them actually came our way. So that was pretty cool. But
Nice. Nice.
yeah, so man, I've been in baseball pretty much my whole life. I mean, and my whole professional life. Born in Philadelphia, didn't spend much time there. Moved down to North Carolina when I was 3 years old, and grew up there, and ended up going to Wake Forest in North Carolina, and had a nice little 3-year career there. Got drafted in the second round by the New York Yankees in 2000. And it was funny because I was a two-way guy in college, and coming
Really?
into the draft, I had no idea which way I was going to go. I had the
Wow.
Diamondbacks call me with, they said, all right, here's the deal. We have I think the 69th pick in the draft, and that was their first pick in the draft. And the scout called and said, hey, would you sign? But we're going to draft you as a center fielder. I said, absolutely. You kidding me? I'll get to play pro
Right.
ball as center fielder, whatever it may be.
Right.
But the
Right.
Yankees actually called me with a pick before, and they didn't know what they were going to do with me. I threw hard from the left side, 93, 95 from the left side, and I guess pro scouts
Nice.
kind of like
Nice.
that stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Kind of. Kind of. Yeah.
yeah, they kind of like that. So, ended up playing 9 years, played 7 years with the Yankees, couple years with the Oakland A's. Battled injuries pretty much my entire career. It took me just over 2 years to get to the major leagues. I got put on the major league roster. As soon as I got on the major league roster, I had my first shoulder injury, and probably just from the lack of pitching that I did in college. But it was really cool, just to be able to play, be on the field with the Jeters, the Clemens, the Pettis, the Randy Johnsons, Kevin Browns, all these guys, you name it. Just to be on the mound, you look behind you, and that's who's behind you. It's
Right.
surreal for
Right.
me, growing up in a small little town in North Carolina, and here I am with Derek Jeter and all these guys behind me. It was obviously a really cool thing. But got into coaching right after my last year in pro ball. Pitching coach for my first 5 years with the New York Yankees. Pretty much just all at the lower levels. My last year as pitching coach, I was in Tampa, which is high single A, and then I got promoted to pitching coordinator. And I did that for 5 years. talking before, it's, for me, being at the top, I'm leading the pitching department for the New York Yankees, which is awesome. Loved it. But, I'm on the road 180 days out of the year. I have a young son at the time that I wasn't around a lot. My wife's taking care of everything, and, just said, you know what, I'm looking to change. I want to slow down a little bit in life, and Georgia Tech just happened to come up. And, so I took the job in August of last year, and so been here just over, 10 months.
How's this trend? I know this year's been tough with the COVID and, but how's the transitioning been from being in a pro game for all these years, man? Man, you, what, 20? So
yeah, 18 years, man.
Yeah, about to say 20 years around the pro game, and now you into the college game. How's that transition been?
You always hear the horror stories about recruiting, right? As a college coach, and you're always on the road, you're always doing this, you're always doing that. When I got into college, I was actually talking to some people, like trying to get an idea of like the workload, and they were like, "You'll never work as hard as you work in college." And I was like, you know what? Maybe if you lead a pitching department, I'll beg to differ on that,
Right.
But the change has been more, instead of, it's just more hands-on, it's more one-on-one relationships. I'm, coaching 18 to 20 pitchers, and, as opposed to, 180, and then it's up and down traveling everywhere. But the transition for me has been great. It's no different in terms of evaluations. I'm evaluating pitchers in the same way I was doing for the Yankees. I'm looking at talent, I'm looking at projection, I'm looking at, what it's going to be like in 4 years. So I do the same thing here, looking at, freshmen in high school, sophomore in high school, juniors in high school. I'm evaluating the same way. So for me, it really hasn't been a big transitional thing at all.
All right. Well, yeah, the evaluation process, I understand, but it's a little different when you're evaluating 18 to 25, 26-year-olds and instead of 14 to 16, 17-year-olds. Like, how, do you find yourself in the stands or looking at video and be like, I'm looking at a 14-year-old kid right now. Like, I can't believe, how is that, when on the recruiting side, how's that been, like looking at these young kids and just understanding, because you come up around the same time I came up, where freshmen and sophomores were not getting offers. It wasn't until your junior year you were getting these offers. So, how has that been? You know what I'm saying? Looking at video and recruiting and, giving offers to freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, I'd say that has been one of the issues is, I'm sitting here literally talking to a kid that's a year older than my son, and, we're talking about scholarship offers. I'm still that's a little weird to me. I guess just a 14-year-old kid trying to offer scholarships, but it's the landscape that we're working in right now. They protect us in terms of regulations and rules. So we're not always, the kids aren't always calling us and this and that, but, but heck, looking at young Latin kids, I'm looking at 15, 16-year-olds down in Latin America as well. So, heck, just from a projection standpoint, I'm looking at the same stuff. I have I guess a process I try to go through with high-speed cameras that I have, and I do a couple different angles, and so just trying to look at just checkpoints in a delivery. And once you get a pretty good angle, get a couple videos, there's a very, very high certainty of 95, 97% that if these guys check these boxes in their delivery, a couple years down the road, we're looking at a huge increase in velocity. 5 to 8, maybe even 10 miles an hour. So, it's a tried and true thing. Heck, that's, being around the Yankees and being around professional baseball players, we'll say Severino. I had Severino when he first signed as a 17-year-old. So I saw the path he took up to the big leagues. He didn't throw 98 when he was 17 years old. He was 87, 89, and that was it. Dylan Betances, same thing. Coming in as a high school kid, and then he turns into a freaking beast in the big leagues. He wasn't like that when he was 18 years old. So it's projection is going to be the same.
Right. So I'm glad you said that. Like, we see the finished product. The Severino's pumping 100. You know what I'm saying? 97, 98, and Batanz is 97, 98 with the depth-defying slider. And, I mean, obviously we all know that they didn't start off like that. But, you know, as fans, as guys that are not behind the scenes, we can't picture you telling us Severino's throwing 87, you know, miles an hour as a 17, 18-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can go out. I mean, that's still very high level, 87, 88 as a 17-year-old. But there's many kids at this level right now, across this country, throwing that right now. But how do you see that kid to be like, man, okay, he's going to be potentially pumping 95 plus, you know what I'm saying? How does that work? I don't understand that from a pitching side. You know, I mean, that's why you do what you do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hitting side, I could kind of say, hey, with the swing and stuff, he can develop some power, just getting older and kind of go. You know, how does that work from a pitching side?
Yeah, I mean, heck, it's an educated. I guess it's not a science. It's just an educated guess. You know, I'm going to be wrong. Hopefully not a lot, but I am going to be wrong on some kids. And you know, but it's just over the years of experience, I've seen certain deliveries that work. I've seen deliveries and arm actions that they could have been 85, 86 at the time, but a couple years down the road, they start producing elite, you know, just velocity. You know, but we're also looking at that new school stuff in terms of spin rates and axis and all this other stuff. I mean, you know, looking at TrackMan, looking at Rapsodo, you know, all this stuff that's out there now. I tell the kids I'm talking to, it's, you know, any information I can get is going to paint a better picture, you know? So it's one of those where if I can see a spin rate at 14 years old, I know that with added velocity, that spin rate's going to go up. So if he has elite spin at a young age, he's going to have elite spin when he gets to college. So that's what I'm looking for, is I'm making sure that they check these boxes delivery wise, they check the boxes spin rate wise, axis, all this stuff. If they do, then we're going to go pretty big on the kid. You know, if it's in state, out of state, it's really not going to matter, you know, but if they check those boxes, then yeah, it's we're certainly going hard after them.
All right, good deal, man. I got a couple comments came in real fast. Hey, Coach, did you ever come across Billy Morris or Jared Parker with the Yankees on Oakland?
Jared Parker, I remember Jared Parker. Yeah, who was the first one?
Billy Morris.
Billy Morris. I don't remember Billy Morris, but no, I don't remember him. Doesn't mean I didn't. Okay. I mean, that, you can tell my gray hair. My memory is it's going pretty quickly, even at 41 years old. So
right. And Tim Battle Jr. says, "My guy Danny, I need to get up and check with you."
Yep, my boy Timmy, man. Yeah, he's actually working or helping out with Foundation Sports, and got a couple studs down there. So yeah, Timmy, hook me up sometime, man. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Dara Robbins in Vegas says, "Can spin rate be trained?"
There are ways around developing spin. You're seeing it in the big leagues right now. This little sticky stuff that you can put on your fingers. It's like I mean, you can get in a huge debate about this stuff. Yeah, but yeah, can you teach spin rate? Yes, you can. Can you affect spin rate in other ways? Absolutely. But I'd much rather have a guy that already spins it well than trying to teach him how to spin it. You know, there's a direct correlation between velocity and spin rate. So every mile an hour you increase in spin or in velocity, you can expect the spin rate to go up 20 to 40 RPMs for every mile an hour. So if a kid's throwing 86 miles an hour at 2,100 RPMs, if he puts on 7 miles an hour at 93, then I can probably look at 140 to 210 extra RPMs. And without even doing anything on my end, it's just he's added strength, he's added velo. With that, the spin's going to go with it.
All right. I'm gonna go back to that technology aspect of it, but I want to get to the Georgia Tech. All right, about the actual school. All right, so you know, I know a lot of people. Georgia Tech is one of those household names, especially in the college baseball world, and you know, but for those listeners who may not know, you know, where is Georgia Tech located? What conference? Give me enrollment. GPA, that's because the high level, academic. But start with the location. Where is Georgia Tech located?
Midtown Atlanta. It's one of the big things I wanted to look at was knowing that Tech was in Midtown Atlanta, obviously one of the busiest cities in the country. I wanted to get a feel of the campus. It's like, all right, how much campus feel can you really have in downtown Atlanta? But it's actually sequestered off, and there's trees, there's grass everywhere. If you're walking in the middle of campus, you have no idea you're in downtown Atlanta, which is pretty nice. Heck, our football field is on campus, baseball field's on campus, every single sporting
Danny, I think
facilities there.
The boy, I don't know, something happened with I'm not able to hear you. Are the listeners able to hear, Danny? I don't know, 'cause it sounded like your sound went out. I don't know if that's on my end or what.
Can you hear me now?
It might be me. Let me see. Hold on 1 second, Danny.
Okay. Yeah, it says I'm good on my end, but could be wrong.
Okay. All right. I'm good. It might have been me. It was me. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But so like I said, downtown Atlanta, you don't really get a grasp of what this campus is really like unless you're actually walking through campus. You have no idea you're in downtown Atlanta, which is crazy thinking that because everybody knows how busy it is. But in terms of school, 15,000 kids are here at Georgia Tech. Very renowned school. It's the 4th rated public school in the country. Engineering, I think it's the number 2 engineering school in the country behind MIT. So we always say we're the number 1 engineering school just because they don't have a baseball team. So, and I tell you, what one of the probably the coolest thing about it is 44% of every graduate at Tech is a millionaire, which is insane. 44%. So what pretty much means I went to the wrong school is what it boils down to.
Well, wait, Wake is an awesome academic school too, man.
It is. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you look like our baseball field in right field, you see downtown, and it's all Fortune 500 companies. So all these companies can literally just come across the street, take a look at the engineers, the business school, and everything else that we have here. I mean, I get it. I get why those numbers are so high.
Wow, that is crazy. That's an awesome stat right there, man. So
yes,
I always knew Georgia Tech was known for engineering. And just give me a little storied history. Some of the guys that's going through Georgia Tech, man. I know a handful of guys that's going on and have great major league careers, man. But name some of the alums that's going through Georgia Tech.
Let's see. We got Nomar Garcia-Parra. He was here. Him and Jason Varitek actually played here together. So that was not a bad combo. Yeah. Went to the College World Series, and Pate was here too at the same time. Kevin Brown, the first $100 million pitcher in the big leagues, went to Georgia Tech. His son's actually showing up to campus this year. He's a pitcher as well. Nice. So hopefully he's got that same 98, 99 mile an hour power sinker that his dad did. We'll see. Yeah. Mark Tuchera went here as well. Joey Bard, who was the 2nd pick in the draft 2 years ago. Charlie Blackmon, who plays for the Rockies. He was actually a two-way guy. He actually came here as a pitcher, and then obviously he's turned out to be a pretty good hitter for Colorado for a long time. But no, I mean, heck, I know I'm leaving a ton of guys out, but I mean, it's a pretty storied, franchise. Matt Wieters.
But really, he's a G Tech guy too.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, Georgia Tech is one of those schools that every year, you know what I'm saying, pumping 4 or 5 high round guys too. I got a Georgia Tech kid in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization now, man. So Chase, shout out to my boy Chase Murray.
Chase Murray. Yeah.
So ACC conference type of, probably top top, a couple conferences in the country, man. You guys
Yeah.
gotta come every weekend. You're pretty much playing top level ball, man.
Yeah.
I asked that question to another coach that played pro ball, SEC guy, and you've been to the big leagues too, and and played in the ACC, so you know what it is. So on equivalency on a minor league side, what level do you think the Georgia Techs and the Wakes and the Miamis and
Yeah.
all that in the ACC, that level of brand of ball, what level do you think it caters? That is at that level, man. You know what I'm saying? What equivalent to?
Yeah. It's you hear that question all the time too. It's like, all right, if Clemson played the Cleveland Browns, or Alabama, same thing. I don't know how comparable it is in terms of, like, if I put our team at Georgia Tech and we played high single A Tampa, obviously the elite talent is obviously more. There's a lot more of that in professional baseball. But I tell you what, you get a first, second, third, fourth, fifth round or whatever it may be. These guys will compete at high A right off the bat. I mean, I've seen it year in and year out. These guys dominate when they come in, whether it's ACC, whether it's SEC. Guys who perform in the ACC and SEC perform in professional baseball. Now, where do they hit their limit, their ceiling? It all depends, But
Right.
heck, you've seen it too. These guys that come in from big programs, you can see why they were successful. It's probably double A where they start. They run into some elite talent and they're like, all right, maybe I got to, change some things. But man, overall, you could certainly, heck, our third rounder this year, Michael Goldberg, you put him in high A, double A, he's going to hold his own as a hitter. He was just an animal. Barron Radcliffe just got drafted by the Phillies. Huge power hitter, 80 raw power. It's elite. He's going to punch, but I tell you what, man, you can put him anywhere in the big leagues, and he would not be embarrassed by anyone in the big leagues in terms of power. But let him face 90-mile-an-hour sliders. We'll find out. But
Right. Yeah, he's been on the show a couple times. Yeah. So he's our relationship. Yeah. So, but yeah, and that's what I talk about this all the time, and for my show, for what I do, the big time schools, it feels good and looks good to have the Georgia Tech pitching coach. You know what I'm saying? And on my show, and just like how it makes me look good, I talked about this yesterday, where these kids and these parents, are so wanting to get the offers from the big time schools like G Tech and all of that, but it's a small, high level of kids that is, talented enough to play at the big time ACC, SEC type schools like Georgia Tech. I'm a big advocate for the junior colleges and stuff like that, to go there. Are you guys a big Georgia? I know Georgia Tech is a high academic side. Like, we'll talk about academics, but do you guys, especially you personally, you've been around pro, you've been a major leaguer, the guys coming in, all from all different walks of life, Venezuela, Dominican, Georgia Tech, low level junior colleges and stuff. The level of ball that's a junior college, and or the kids that come to play professionally that don't start at the Georgia Techs, like, how many of those did you run across being the Yankees pitching coordinator?
A ton. You know what? For me, to answer your first question, JUCO wise, we usually don't jump too much into JUCO, not because the talent's not there. It's not that at all. The process of getting into Georgia Tech with 2 years of, sorry, my dog's right here, with 2 years of college, you have to be a certain percentage closer to your degree. So for us, it's rare that we will get a JUCO guy. But I tell you what, man, it's some of the talent that I've seen come out of JUCO, come out of small colleges. Just because you don't get recruited by Georgia Tech doesn't mean you're not going to play in the big leagues. There are examples everywhere in Major League Baseball. And, that for me, I'm going to miss on guys. There's going to be some young kids that, maybe I don't look at, maybe I don't like them at that time. talent wise, but 4 years, 5 years down the road, they're pumping 98, 99. I look like an idiot, but for me, it's whatever path's best for you. That's the path you should go down. And if it's 2 years of JUCO and then getting into pro ball, I mean, heck, Nick Nelson, who Florida Gulf Coast, I think is where he went, community college. And he was there for 2 years, signed with the Yankees as fourth, fifth rounder around there. Just got called up to the big leagues 2 days ago. So, I mean, the talent it's there. So it doesn't matter what path you take to get to the big leagues. Is it cool to be, Tech or ACC? Yeah, of course it is. But at the end of the day, 99% of us want to play in the big leagues. That's your ultimate goal. So the path of how you get there, it doesn't matter how you get there. It's just you get there. It's the work you put in. So whether it's through Tech, whether it's through a JUCO, whether it's through a D3, hey, whatever it takes,
I love that. So getting back to G-Tech, and you briefly talked about the academic side of it, man. You just said second in the engineering department, second to MIT. So, what are the requirements that's needed when it comes to getting into G-Tech?
The requirements are very similar to any other school in the country. I mean, now if you're a non-student athlete, then obviously the parameters are much, much higher, but I mean, heck, it's just, if you're a good student, I mean, heck, we give out scholarships, anything above a 3.0, it's called the Hope Scholarship here in Georgia. So, I mean, you don't have to be an absolute brainiac to come to Georgia Tech. It's sometimes recruiting wise, that gets kind of thrown in our face. It's like, well, you go to Georgia Tech, you're going to, man, the studies are so hard and this and that. No, it's not. You just go to class, open a book, do your work. Guess what? You're going to make some good grades. I mean, heck, I should have learned that my first 3 years at Wake. I had a 3.9 combined GPA my first 2 semesters at Wake. So my parents were not too happy about that, but I had a 1.8 and then a 2.1. I mean, so
wow.
That I didn't go to class. I didn't open a book. I didn't do my work. I mean, that's what you get. But
right.
Our academic advisors are great. We have 2 that are just purely baseball tutors. Most of our tutors were, professors at some point in time. So, I mean, these guys go to class. They're great with the professors. Professors are great with our student athletes. And I mean, heck, I think our GPA in the fall was 3.17, and then in the spring it was 3.4. And
wow.
And again, it's elite talent here. So, I mean, so it's not like we have to go after the high academic guy. We're still going to get the best of the best in the country, or we're still in play for the best of the best,
Right.
But
the Russ asks, how many kids that you offer early actually go to Georgia Tech?
We don't hand out too many scholarships. Our process is much more, some people would say slow. We like to say it's thorough, I mean, we sit here and we want to make sure that we're going after the right person, the right character, and the right talent. So that's what we're looking for. D, it looks like you're frozen right there. You there, D?
Gotcha. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are. Sorry. That looked like you were frozen there. Now you're still frozen, but it's all good.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Okay.
Both of us. So what you were saying something?
Yeah. So, in terms of how many we offer actually get to Georgia Tech, this past season, we had a class of 10 or 12. All 12 are coming. 3 of them were going to be very, very high draft picks. With the pandemic, with the draft only being 5 rounds, our 3 of our kids turned down a lot of money to come to Tech. So most of the guys that commit to Tech are going to come. Of course, you're going to have your first, second rounders. They're going to sign for $4 or $5 million, and guess what? I'll pack your bags for you if someone's offering you $5 million. So, so I mean, but no, I mean, in terms of how many we offer, we don't put out a lot of offers because we think that our, how we evaluate, I think we kind of, I guess we don't shut the door on certain kids, but at the same time, we know what we're looking for. We know what we need, and we're not going to spend time on people or on kids that, we don't need that specific position or whatever it may be.
All right. The so starting this year with the COVID, guys turning down money and all of that. Where's your current roster stand as far as like how has this affected your recruiting? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where the guys coming back, seniors coming back, or incoming freshmen. How is the roster sitting, and how is that setting you guys, the 2021s and younger?
For us, since we don't bring in 15, 20, 25 kids a year, we're actually in a really good spot in terms of we have one senior coming back. The other three have moved on. One's with the Philadelphia Phillies as well, Jonathan Hughes. He was our Friday night starter. So we have one kid coming back next year. Austin Wilhite, our second baseman, and pitcher. So, but I mean, heck, it's considering what else is out there or what's happened with this. I certainly understand that, colleges are in some pretty tight spots right now. I completely understand why. But I think we're in a better spot than most.
All right, good deal. So I know that there's some great college coaches, but you being a player many years, getting to the big leagues, being around freaking Pettit and Roger Clemens, guys, Hall of Fame guys, you know what I'm saying? And the coaching staff that you've been a part of, being around the leaders and all of that, then coming into coaching side of it and the pitching coordinator, how do you, gain all that knowledge and experience and give that to those kids? I mean, do they, I guess they don't really understand right now, all of that knowledge that you do have in that head right now because they only been around you for, a little bit of time so far. But how is it teaching those college kids? Is it much different from the pro side? Is their mindset's a little bit different or what?
Well, first off, just a slight correction. I didn't play in the big leagues. I can't take credit for that. I did not play in the big leagues. I was on the major league roster for a while.
I thought you got
So no, I spent a lot of major league spring trainings, but no, I just didn't want to be that guy. It's like no. But so thank you for saying it. I appreciate that. But no, it's from looking at it from how these kids learn, it's the thirst for knowledge from these guys. It's the same, whether it's pro ball, whether it's college, they want knowledge. They want the information. So, when I came in from the Yankees, obviously the resources we had, with the Yankees, it's immeasurable in terms of what we had access to. So I brought as much as I could from the Yankees to Georgia Tech, and these guys just ate it up. They wanted the information. You hear the thing about paralysis by analysis or too much information is a bad thing. I mean, I do temper it. I mean, I'm not going to give it all to them in a one-day setting. But if the kids are asking me questions, I'm going to give them the information. I'm going to give it to them in a way that hopefully they can understand it. But heck, we're putting in a lab development center it's second to none in the country, not just in college, but in pro ball as well. So the amount of technology and information we're going to have in this development center, it's not necessary for them to really understand.
So you say you put.
What's that? What's that?
So on my side a little bit, you say you guys are building a new lab?
Yeah.
You guys are building a new lab, you said?
Yep. Just started construction first of June. So we're building a huge facility. It's going to have, everything you could think of and a little bit more. So it's going to be really good. But, so my point is we have the tech, we have the data, we have the information. I'm going to give it to them in a way they can understand. They don't have to understand the inner workings of force plates or 3D motion capture biomechanical analysis or sensor plates or anything like that. What they need to understand is the results and how they can improve from it. So same thing in pro ball. Those guys want to understand it, but we're also going to give it to them in a way that they don't have to worry about the stuff that we're looking at. We're just going to give it to them in a way that makes sense to them.
right. What do you All right. I got a question that comes in. Let me see. Brandon says, "Help me out here, D. I teach a lot of velo type pitchers to guys younger than 50 up to the younger kids with smaller hands."
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Brandon, if you figure that out, let me know. All right. That'll be nice. No, I tell you what, man, what for me, one of the biggest things, yeah, teaching the changeup to me is the biggest thing is all we're doing is just altering the grip on a changeup. That's all we're doing. It's the grip is going to take care of the majority of what we need to do. So for me, we got to make sure we're still trying to throw this thing 100%. One of the biggest things I see, and I still see it in college, I saw it in pro ball too, and you've seen it. When a guy throws a changeup, a guy that struggles with throwing a changeup.
We love it. We love it from a hitter.
Oh, yeah.
We love it from a hitter.
Yeah. But it's
slows up that arm, right?
Yeah. But I mean, their whole delivery slows down. It's just like they get here and they try to just feel for it. It's you trust the grip. And Brandon, seeing if I had a baseball in here. I don't think I do. You'd think I have a baseball laying around, but you honestly just split the baseball right down the middle. You just want to put the middle of the baseball right here, and then you almost want your ring finger right in the middle of the baseball, and then you just throw the absolute crap out of it. It's hard to see a big difference in speed at a young age. I mean, it's just as a 13-year-old, I mean, kids throwing 65, whatever it may be, an effective changeup may not really work at that young of an age, just because you got 50 feet. In Major League Baseball, college baseball, we got 60 feet, 6 inches, from the rubber to the plate. So the deception's going to be there. That's why breaking balls at a young age always work so well, or knuckleballs, or whatever you want to throw at that age, because it's different than your fastball. At young ages, usually the changeup isn't too much different than the fastball, and a big part of that is because of the smaller hands. So I know I rambled a little bit, Brandon, on that, but yeah, I would certainly try putting that ring finger right in the middle of the ball. Yes.
He says, he said, "I feel right now that change up, change up. Well, that ain't gonna change. I mean, like,
no, it's not. It's well, heck, dude. I mean,
bad hitters that are late all the time or can't catch up to a good fastball.
Yeah,
they're gonna catch up to the slow changeup.
Yeah. Well, heck, I mean, it's a lot of the power arms in minor league baseball. A great example, it's a kid who throws 96, 98, spins the ball well, but he has to throw a changeup. We got to teach him a changeup.
Are you going to say?
You there, D?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. It seems like my connection's good, but I could be a little off. Yeah, I got you. Let me take these off.
Yeah. It may be on my side. I'm in the freaking middle of Georgia. But
no.
But I was looking at Severino, like, guys like that, guys that. Did you hear me?
I heard Severino, man. I don't know who it is. It's kind of breaking it in and out.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah, sorry, man. I'm still going in and out. My bad.
All over?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, all right. Well, it is. I'm going to try to. It might be on my side because I'm just, like I said, I'm in the middle of Georgia somewhere. But, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I still up?
Yeah, it's hit or miss, man. I
think I'm still
in and out. Every other word, pretty much.
We will try our best, and
okay.
I get you back on.
Uh,
I think it's me because I'm traveling. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I'm riding out. Roster standpoint, you know, where does everybody choose? You most of your kids.
Oh, I can see your face now. It's not frozen. That's a good thing. Nothing.
No,
All right.
you didn't hear. You didn't hear.
Nothing. No, not a thing.
No.
No.
Okay. Oh, you couldn't.
I got nothing. You're
Okay.
like
Okay.
literally like every third
Yeah.
word, man. So
Yeah. So I see you and I hear you good.
yeah, so
Okay.
it's
Okay.
got to be me, man. I'm
All
sorry.
right. All right. Well, listen. All right, Danny. Listen. All right. We're gonna cut it off. We're gonna shut this
Okay.
down.
All right.
And parents, it's my fault.
It's on me too, man. But yeah, I know you can hear me, but yes,
Okay.
love to jump back on at some point,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
So
All right, Danny. So you cut it off on your
all right.
side. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, man. But for 3 weeks, we have nothing but um, we'll have nothing but guys on here. Be locked and loaded and be ready to go. So he can't hear me. I think it's me streaming to him because I hear him perfectly too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going on his side. So I I I think he cut off and I took him off. Just cut. See, I hope I hope you got enough knowledge. I know it's fairly quicker than usual, 40-something minutes, but listen, I'll continue to keep bringing on these coaches. 3 weeks worth of guys coming on every day, coaches coming on, man. So J Maya, what's up? So we'll be on. I will be bringing these coaches on, and hopefully we get out and get all this internet. The last 2 days has been kind of crazy with the coaches, and again, it's doing my thing. Hopefully we don't have to go through that no more. All right. So my listeners, I appreciate you guys listening in. Georgia Tech any coach, pitch coach Danny Borrell joined me today. Had the the little difficulties, man. Thanks to everybody that was tuning in. I'm only able to see one school from different parts of the country, and we're gonna keep this ball rolling, man. All right. So, wish my daughter luck this week. It's starting tomorrow morning and playing all weekend, and she should be going on. All right. So audio is rough. I'm gonna say